What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Russell here, and I'm not sure as to say either good evening or good morning since it's like 12:30, so it's still night out, not really early morning. I guess you could call it like extremely early morning, but I'm not too positive. But anyways, to get on, we have a PvT, and in the top middle we have a Pulsar. Alright. And in the top left we have SoulBlade, and we have had SoulBlade on here before, and he sent me in this, and it was he said it was a very interesting game, so I decided to go ahead and cast it. So we have both players doing the standard opening build, SoulBlade queuing up more than enough SCVs in the beginning here, and Pulsar only doing one probe per time, which is optimal. Was what you want to do, is do one probe, one SCV per time you build, but he is now queuing up to. But he is supply locking himself for quite a second there. Sorry, I have a sore throat and cold still, so if I'm a little stuffy, if I cough a little bit, I'm sorry about that. And we have SoulBlade just now building his supply depot and throwing down a barracks. And Pulsar throwing down that gateway at about the 140 mark. So he's kind of right on time for a 4-gate push, if that is what he's going to be going for. And both players scouting the wrong direction the first time, it looks like. But will they see each other? I believe they will rally to each other and see each other as they pass out through here, so bump and fist. Alright, bump and fist, and not even close to the bases they need to be. Okay, but we will see SoulBlade scouting to the correct place, correct position first, so he will be able to get scouting off before, and we see Pulsar taking both gases. So we are going to see a heavy gas build here from Pulsar, and we do see SoulBlade already having his refinery and building the tech lab. So having the refinery already with the tech lab going down, we will see some early tech and possibly some quick marauders out of here. And let's see if that's what he does go for. And let's bring up the production tab when we see one zealot almost finished for Pulsar, and no, not a marauder, had the marauder up, cancel the marauder, going for a reaper. So we are seeing a early reaper harass, because SoulBlade does see that this is a very close position for him to send a reaper over there. So, and we know that Pulsar doesn't really have much to deal with a reaper, but he does have the Cybernetics core, and it is almost finished, and it will be finished in time for him to get out a stalker to deal with this reaper harass if he does queue up that stalker right away. And he does kill this SCV. And no, he is not queuing up that stalker. And the Reaper is just now finishing, and a second barracks is going down. And he is deterring this from seeing as to what is going on inside his base. And did he see as to what is going on? And he does see the double barracks. And we do have the Reaper on the way. And what will it be able to do? The Zealot is in perfect placement for the Reaper, but the Reaper is able to get away. And he targeted the gas. And he is going to try and get a few kills with this Reaper. One probe going down, and we do see the Stalker finally being warped out, and the Reaper taking the ramp, because he's like, you know what, I don't really feel like jumping, I'm just going to take the ramp here. And we have the Pulsar taking the Zelnaga tower, the only tower in this map. And I probably should talk about the map a little bit. You have your main right here, which leads into a natural expansion, which is a little bit difficult to protect against, because you do have this entrance here and this huge entrance here, and you also have a back entrance as long as they break down these rocks here. So 3 entrances, but most of the time people do not go through for the rocks, but we do see Pulsar building this pylon here. If you are going to be going for a 4-gate push, this is like the perfect place to put a pylon, as long as the other player does not see it. And no, I don't believe SoulBlade will see this, so we will see an early push, and this Reaper is still alive with 2 kills, so not a very effective Reaper, especially if it will die, but he is getting 2 kills, so that is about 100 minerals for Pulsar to lose. And now Pulsar just now finishing up his warp gate tech, and just now warping his gates into warp gates, so a little bit late if he wanted to be doing the warp gate push, because it is now at the 6:35 minute mark, and he is training another stalker instead of turning this into a warp gate, and he's only warping 3 stalkers in here. This is not going to be enough. He does have one Marauder in here and 2 more up on the high ground. And he is building another barracks with a reactor on it. He has 2 more Marauders coming out, and he only has 3 Stalkers. Not enough. And 2 Marauders in the bunker, so this will be more than enough to deter any push that he has, and he only has 3 Stalkers, 3 Zealots. This is not going to be enough. These bunkers will protect everything in here. And this Stalker meeting up with the rest. And we see Stimpack being researched, 2 Marines on the way, 2 more Marauders on the way, and a factory on the way for SoulBlade. And hit back at Pulsar's main base, seeing nothing else going down. He does have enough minerals for a Nexus, and will he be able to destroy this bunker? No, he is wisely backing out, losing all of his almost all of his Zealots and almost all of his Stalkers. So he is gonna head on home and hopefully try again and see as to what he can do. And this Reaper sitting here in the Stalker, wisely placed here, and it is not on hold, it is just on stop. And we do see a robo facility coming in for Pulsar. So Pulsar tech switching into what I would hope either be Immortals to combat the heavy Marauders, or into Colossus to get that range, and because Colossus are very effective against mass Marine Marauder builds, as long as you have enough Colossus in that little mix of Protoss ball, of your Protoss death ball. Because if you do want to have an effective Colossus going against a Marine Marauder ball, what you want to have a mix-up is of Stalkers, Sentries, and Zealots. You want the Zealots in the front line to be kind of like cannon fodder, and then the Stalkers to do quite a bit of damage, and the Sentries to use that Guardian Shield over your unit so that the ranged attack damage of the Terran enemy is kind of negated a little bit, because what Sentries do with Guardian Shield, the Guardian Shield reduces range damage by 2, and it lasts for 15 seconds. So you do 1 Guardian Shield, cover half your army, another half, and then like kind of space your sentries out a little bit so that they cover half and half, then do 1 Guardian Shield half, 1 Guardian Shield the other half, and then do it again if you have enough energy. And we do see Pulsar using this observer to go scout and see as to what is going on in his base. And we do now see SoulBlade throwing down the starport with a tech lab, and we do not see the factory with a tech lab, so he's not getting out any tanks or Thors at the moment. But Thors do need the armory, and we do not see an armory going down, and we see almost no unit production from Pulsar, no building production from Pulsar also, and he is supply blocked. You do not want to be supply blocked at this situation in this point in time in the game against a Terran unit, because a Terran unit, if they are not supply blocked, they are just going to shoot ahead of you in supply. And as you can tell here, we do have 63 to 50 supply, the Terran unit way ahead, but we do see the Protoss unit saving up some minerals, so we may see a fast expand from the Protoss unit, and he does see as to what he does have here, and he does see the starport going down with the tech lab. So he does know something is going on with the tech lab, and we do see a Raven being built. This will let him see DTs on the move instead of having to waste energy for the scan. So this is a smart play from SoulBlade, getting out that Raven to see, just in case if Pulsar does fall back onto DTs. And he is building a second robo facility, and he is getting out some Immortals, so he is going for the correct tech switch against a Marine Marauder ball, because Immortals are very strong against Marauders, and with these Zealots and Stalkers helping with the Immortals alongside, they will do a lot of damage, because Stalkers, I believe, when they are up in the face of a Marine, it's like 2 slashes of a blades, and the Marine is dead against damage 8, health 45. So yeah, it's like 1, 2, 1, 2, and there goes all of the detection that's Pulsar did have on SoulBlade's base. We are seeing Pulsar supply blocked yet again, and he is chrono boosting this for no apparent reason, wasting 25 energy. I don't know if that was a misclick or if he thought that was the correct robo bait, even though he is supply blocked. And where is this little fella going? We're just gonna follow you, because there's nothing else going on in the match other than showing 2 Vikings going down and another command center for SoulBlade. So SoulBlade will be expanding, and so is Pulsar, taking a different natural than his main natural, so maybe trying to hide this just in case, because he knows he does not have that big of an army and he is supply blocked. But he is throwing down 3 pylons just to not be supply blocked. And this expansion, this command center from SoulBlade finishing very soon, so we should be seeing it lifted off to here. But he might be sneaky also like Pulsar and try and hide it, but if he does move it over this area, like over these rocks and everything, this pylon will scout it. But he can't see outside of that. That's the only problem. So it has to fly directly over this, or the pylon won't see it. And we do see this Raven chilling here, so maybe we will see some auto turrets. And yes, we are seeing auto turrets on the mineral line. This will hurt Pulsar's mineral line because it's 2 probes, 3 probes. 4 probes going out before he pulls them all off, and now he's finally bringing in the Zealots. But this also shows SoulBlade exactly what size army that Pulsar does have. But did it show the Immortals? I'm not positive if it showed the Immortals. So we do now see, I believe, almost every single probe for Pulsar going down to this expansion. Yep, that was every single probe, and he's now chrono boosting some more probes out onto his main line. If you are building an expansion, when you do build the expansion, a wise thing to do is take about, I believe it's like 1/3 of your probes off of your main, 1/3 or 1/4, one of the two figures, and bring them down to your natural to start the mineral production, and that will increase your overall mineral production rate. And we finally see a forge going down for Pulsar. It's a little bit late in the game. By this time, as a Protoss unit, you want at least 1/1 upgrade for most of your units, and if you are already on an expansion, if you want for a fast expansion, you want at least 2/1 type upgrade. And we do see SoulBlade getting his Marine Marauder Death Ball, but we should see some medevacs here to help heal this so it does not go down too quickly. But we are not seeing that, and we are seeing this probe being sadly destroyed. And we see 2 more Vikings on the way to counter a possible Colossus tech switch, but we are not seeing any Colossus going out for Pulsar. We are seeing more Immortals being pumped out. He has 3 Immortals, a 4th one on the field, and 4 Zealots, and we now see, we do now finally see +1 armor upgrade going down for Pulsar, and we see the combat shield being researched for SoulBlade. And he's still not really doing anything with his factory. Could maybe get a tank or 2 out for siege tech or for that extra damage. And we are seeing no gas going down here at his expansion, and we are seeing probes being rallied up over to here, actually to the forge. So we're seeing 1 probe doing absolutely nothing, and Pulse and SoulBlade seeing everything, his whole entire army. So he is now putting out some medevacs. We have 2 more Vikings with a total of 7 Vikings, or is that 8? Yes, 7 Vikings. So a total of 7 Vikings to combat any Colossus play on the field if Colossus do come out, which at this point in time I don't believe Colossus are going to be coming out, since he has these 4 probes just chilling here, and he is pumping out Immortals, and he is pumping out 2 more Immortals, and this Immortal is rallied. Okay, it was rallied way off, and now it is finally rallied right here. Both of them are. So we are going to have 6 Immortals on the field, and these probes not doing anything. I wonder when he's going to notice this. Hopefully soon, because that's a lot of mineral production he is losing. And he still does not have these gas. And he supply blocked himself again. So Pulsar using chrono boosts on all of these gateways, which if in a pinch you are going to need units quickly, chrono boosting your gateways is a way to do that. But with Pulsar being supply blocked, it's really no need for him to be chrono boosting that, because he is supply blocked. And by the time when he is able to warp in units and be unsupply blocked, he can just warp in units straight away again. And we are seeing no more upgrades, so just the +1 to armor upgrade. And we do now finally have medevacs on the field, 4 of them, and SoulBlade having a huge army compared to what Pulsar has. Pulsar does not have enough to deal against this, and we are seeing him maybe potentially moving out right now with this, but he does have quite a few Immortals, so these will do a ton of damage to those Marauders as long as he does use any amount of force fields he does have, because these are full of energy, so that's four force fields a piece, so that's 8 force fields total that he can use to kind of trap the Marine Marauder ball. But if SoulBlade does land those Vikings, because there are no Colossus on the field, so those Vikings in the air are pretty much useless, even if they do get taken out. And we do see finally SoulBlade seeing that this probe is here, but he's just scouting with the Viking. Viking's not going to get very far if he does run straight into this, and yes, he will run straight into this, and Pulsar will need to focus fire this down, and he does kill it. So that Viking not getting very valuable scouting information, because we do see SoulBlade not even knowing that this is here, this expansion, but SoulBlade taking another expansion that I did not even see, but he is now moving out, and this will be more than enough to destroy most of, if not all of, Pulsar's army, as long as he does use Stimpack. And does he have Stimpack? Yes, he does have Stimpack. If he uses Stimpack correctly, he will be able to destroy and focus down all of those Immortals, which will do huge damage. And Pulsar losing that and losing this Zealot. So what SoulBlade will have to do, since there are no Colossus in the field, and we are seeing the two forces engage, but we are seeing no force fields, no guardian shields, which is a very bad move from Pulsar. As long as he has those guardian shields, he might be able to hold this off just a little bit longer, but no, we are seeing these Immortals being focused down. One goes down, and he only has 4 left, and Pulsar losing his whole entire army, and these Vikings not doing barely anything, so these Vikings need to be landing just so that they can clean this army up a lot quicker. And no, he just pretty much rolls right in without having to land these Vikings whatsoever, and focusing down that Immortal again. That Immortal goes down, and so does that probe. And seeing that there is no expansion here, these Vikings are just going to go and fly over here and look at the Vestment Geyser. Alright, and we do see SoulBlade just coming in here and decimating Pulsar's base. Pulsar having nothing to deal with this, but he is taking a 4th expansion for no apparent reason, because he does not have any forces to protect it if SoulBlade does come down here. And it does not look like Pulsar will be able to pull anything out of this game, and it looks like Pulsar is going to throw it on the GG, and SoulBlade taking this game by a landslide, because Pulsar supply blocked himself more than 4 times. I was going to say more than once, but he supply blocked himself a lot. And we're seeing Pulsar trying to tech switch into Immortals to combat these Marauders, but he did not have enough units to deal with the Marines or to focus down these Medivacs, because these Medivacs just healed everything, and none of these Marauders are even in the orange or the red. And we only have 1 Medivac in the red. Let's check the page too, and absolutely nothing else in red or orange or yellow. So we're seeing SoulBlade having the Death Ball with the Vikings doing absolutely nothing there, other than destroying some pylons. But SoulBlade going wisely for the Detector to get rid of any observers trying to view what his army is, but any observer that does get close enough to the Raven and to see what the army size is will see what is going on. So what Pulsar should have done is possibly gotten out a Colossus or 2, because he did have 2 Robo-Bays, and by the time that this push did commence, he could have easily had 4 to 5 Colossus, possibly 6, with a few Immortals and everything else to back that up. But he supply blocked himself more than once, and he did have more than enough minerals at the end there, and so did SoulBlade. So SoulBlade also could have pumped out quite a few more Marines, and as you can see, he has 2 queued up here, 2 Marauders queued up here, 2 Marauders queued up here, 2 Medivacs queued up here, and absolutely doing nothing with this factory. So this factory is just basically a waste, sitting there doing absolutely nothing, because he did not build any factory units. As we go to the units tab, and it shows that absolutely no factory units were built. But we do see the probe count for Pulsar being much higher than it was for SoulBlade. So SoulBlade needs to work on getting his SCV count up a little bit more, saturating this quite a bit more, and then maybe just actually saturating this at all. So seeing a very a decent play from SoulBlade, decent push, very late push, a little early Reaper harass, which you don't really see anymore. You don't really see early Reaper harass, but late push from SoulBlade at the end there, and not utilizing these Vikings at all until the end. And then an expansion here from Pulsar. He might have been able to keep going off of this expansion if he would have maybe cannoned himself in, but I don't believe he would have been able to pull anything else out. So that has been a PvT showing I guess, a very late push and some effectiveness of a Reaper Harass only killing 2 probes, and it also shows what not to do as a Protoss player. A, try not to chrono boost something when you're supply blocked, and B, try not to get supply blocked, and C, always maybe bring out like a Zealot to attack and harass and see as to what's going on with the Terran army if he has not attacked yet, because if you're able to use that Zealot to you can use that Zealot even if it does die, its death will give you valuable information as to what the army composition of the enemy player is. So using a Zealot to see what was going on here, building a Colossus or 2 would have helped him, but these Vikings were there to negate the Colossus. It still would have helped quite a bit in the beginning there, as long as he did have the same exact army size. So don't forget to comment, thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.